Have you ever wanted to tell someone about your day in English but didn't know where to start?
Oh yes, that happens a lot, especially when you're trying to explain your daily schedule clearly.
Today, we're going to make that super easy and fun. Imagine you're talking to a friend and you want to share what you do every day.
Let's start simple. The first thing we usually say is when we wake up. For example, I wake up at 7 a.m. Say it with me. I wake up at 7 a.m.
Perfect. Now, after waking up, most people do some morning activities like brushing teeth or having breakfast. For example, I brush my teeth and have breakfast. Repeat after me. I brush my teeth and have breakfast.
Great. Now let's talk about work or school. You can say, I go to work at 9 a.m. or I start school at 8 a.m. Try saying, I go to work at 9 a.m.
Nice. And don't forget lunch. You can say, I have lunch at 1 p.m. Repeat it. I have lunch at 1 p.m. It's simple, but it helps people understand your day step by step.
Absolutely. And after lunch, people usually continue work or study. For example, I work from 1:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. Repeat, I work from 1:30 p.m. to 5 p.m.
And in the evening, we do different things like exercise, cook, or relax. You can say, I exercise in the evening, or I relax at home in the evening.
Try this mini dialogue with me. Ella, what do you do after work?
I usually relax at home and watch TV.
And speaking of evenings, some people like to cook dinner. You can say, I cook dinner at 7 p.m. Say it with me. I cook dinner at 7 p.m.
After dinner, many people enjoy hobbies or spend time with family. For example, I read a book after dinner, or I play games with my kids. Repeat, I read a book after dinner.
That's right. And before going to bed, we usually do some final activities, like brushing teeth again or preparing for the next day. You can say, I brush my teeth and prepare for bed at 10 p.m. Try it. I brush my teeth and prepare for bed at 10 p.m.
Perfect. Now let's put it all together in a short daily schedule. For example, I wake up at 7 a.m., brush my teeth and have breakfast, go to work at 9 a.m., have lunch at 1 p.m., work until 5 p.m., exercise in the evening, cook dinner at 7 p.m., and go to bed at 10 p.m.
That's a full day, Leo, and it's great practice for speaking English naturally. Remember, you can always change the times or activities to match your own day.
Exactly. And to make it more fun, let's try a mini dialogue. Leo, what do you do after you wake up?
I brush my teeth, have breakfast, and then go to work.
Ella, what about after work?
I exercise, cook dinner, and relax at home.
When you practice like this, it becomes easier to tell anyone about your day. You can even add extra details like hobbies or small routines.
For example, I drink coffee at 8 a.m. or I watch a short video before bed.
Many details like this make your English sound more natural.
And don't worry about making mistakes. Practice every day and your sentences will get smoother and more confident.
Exactly. Try repeating your daily routine in English tonight and see how much easier it gets.
Another way to talk about your daily schedule is to use adverbs of frequency. Words like always, usually, sometimes, and never help make your sentences more interesting.
That's a great point, Leo. For example, you can say, I always wake up at 7 a.m. Repeat after me. I always wake up at 7 a.m.
Or, I usually have breakfast at 7:30 a.m. Try saying it. I usually have breakfast at 7:30 a.m.
And for activities you do less often, you can say, I sometimes go for a walk in the evening. Say it. I sometimes go for a walk in the evening.
You can also talk about things you never do. For example, I never skip lunch. Repeat. I never skip lunch.
Using these words makes your daily schedule more realistic and natural. It shows how often things happen instead of just what happens.
Let's try a small dialogue using these words. Ella, do you always drink coffee in the morning? No, I sometimes drink tea, but I always have breakfast.
Leo, do you usually exercise in the evening? Yes, I usually go for a run, but I never exercise on weekends.
You see, adding frequency words helps you describe your daily routine more clearly, and it also helps listeners understand your habits.
Another tip is to use connectors to make your sentences flow smoothly. Words like then, after that, and finally make your story easy to follow.
For example, I wake up at 7 a.m., then I brush my teeth. After that, I have breakfast, and finally, I go to work. Say it with me. I wake up at 7 a.m., then I brush my teeth. After that, I have breakfast, and finally, I go to work.
That's great practice because in real conversations, we often connect ideas naturally. It sounds much better than listing everything one by one.
Another fun way to make your daily schedule sound natural is by adding small comments about your feelings. For example, I wake up at 7 a.m. and I feel happy to start my day. Repeat after me. I feel happy to start my day.
That's a great idea, Leo. You can also say, I have breakfast and I feel hungry, or I go to work and I feel excited. Say it with me. I go to work and I feel excited.
Adding your feelings makes your sentences more interesting and personal. People will understand not only what you do, but also how you feel.
Let's try a mini dialogue with feelings. Ella, how do you feel in the morning?
I feel sleepy, but after breakfast, I feel ready for work.
Leo, what about after work?
I feel tired, so I usually relax at home.
You can also talk about your evening activities with feelings. For example, I exercise in the evening and I feel energetic, or I read a book and I feel calm.
Another way to practice is by using questions and answers about your day. For example, what time do you wake up? I wake up at 7 a.m.
What do you usually do after lunch?
I usually work or study. Try practicing these questions with a friend or even by yourself. And don't forget small routines. You can add things like, I check my phone for messages, or I drink water after lunch. These little details make your English sound more natural.
Exactly. And the more details you add, the easier it is to have a real conversation in English. Remember, practice makes perfect, and every sentence counts.
We can also talk about our weekends or special days differently from weekdays. For example, on weekends, I usually wake up later, around 9 a.m. Say it with me. I usually wake up later, around 9 a.m.
That's a good point, Leo. Weekends are great to practice different routines. For example, I go shopping in the afternoon, or I meet friends in the evening. Repeat, I meet friends in the evening.
You can also talk about special activities like hobbies or exercise. For example, I play football on Saturdays, or I paint on Sundays. Say it. I paint on Sundays.
And mini dialogues help make this more natural. Ella, what do you do on weekends?
I usually relax at home, but sometimes I meet friends.
Leo, do you exercise on weekends?
Yes, I usually go for a long run on Saturday mornings.
Talking about weekends lets you practice using frequency words like usually, sometimes, and always in a fun way. For example, I sometimes go hiking on Sunday, or I always watch a movie on Saturday evening.
You can also mix feelings and activities. For example, I sometimes go hiking and I feel excited, or I always watch movies and I feel relaxed. Repeat, I feel relaxed.
Another tip is to add short transitions. Words like in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening help listeners follow your schedule easily.
For example, in the morning, I wake up at 7 a.m., in the afternoon, I work, and in the evening, I relax. Say it with me. In the morning, I wake up at 7 a.m., in the afternoon, I work, and in the evening, I relax.
Using time expressions makes your daily routine clear and easy to understand. It also makes your English sound more fluent and natural.
You can also describe your day using before and after to connect activities. For example, I brush my teeth before I have breakfast, or I relax after I finish work. Repeat after me. I relax after I finish work.
That's a great way to make your sentences sound more natural. Another example is, I drink coffee before I start studying, or I read a book after dinner. Say it with me. I read a book after dinner.
Mini dialogues help a lot too. Ella, what do you do before going to work?
I take a shower before I go to work.
Leo, what do you do after lunch?
I usually check emails after lunch.
You can also use while to describe two actions happening at the same time. For example, I listen to music while I cook dinner. Repeat, I listen to music while I cook dinner.
Or, I watch TV while I eat my snack. Say it with me. I watch TV while I eat my snack.
Talking about your daily routine with before, after, and while makes your English more fluent and closer to how native speakers talk.
And don't forget small details like I check my phone while drinking coffee or I water the plants after breakfast. These little sentences make your English sound real and natural.
Another tip is using usually with before and after. For example, I usually take a shower before breakfast, or I usually relax after work.
These sentences are easy to practice every day. You can even write your schedule down and try saying it out loud.
The more you practice, the more confident you'll feel talking about your daily life in English. And it's a great way to use new words and phrases naturally.
Another useful tip is to use get for daily activities. For example, I get up at 7 a.m., I get dressed after my shower, or I get ready for work. Repeat after me. I get ready for work.
That's right. Get is very common in daily English. You can also say, I get home at 6 p.m. or I get tired in the evening. Say it with me. I get tired in the evening.
Many dialogues help make it even more practical. Leo, what time do you get up? I usually get up at 7 a.m.
Ella, when do you get home from work? I get home at 6 p.m. and then I relax.
Another way to talk about your day is by using start and finish. For example, I start work at 9 a.m. and finish at 5 p.m. Repeat after me. I start work at 9 a.m. and finish at 5 p.m.
Or for school, I start class at 8 a.m. and finish at 2 p.m. Say it. I start class at 8 a.m. and finish at 2 p.m.
Using start and finish is very natural in conversations because people often ask about beginning and ending times.
And you can also talk about your free time. For example, I start reading a book at 8 p.m. and finish at 9 p.m. Repeat. I start reading a book at 8 p.m. and finish at 9 p.m.
You can combine this with feelings too. I start exercising at 6 p.m. and I feel energetic, and I finish at 7 p.m. feeling happy. Say it with me. I finish at 7 p.m. feeling happy.
Small details, feelings, and exact times make your English sound much more natural and engaging. It helps people understand your daily life clearly.
Another fun way to describe your day is by using before going to or after going to. For example, I brush my teeth before going to work, or I relax after going to school. Repeat after me. I brush my teeth before going to work.
That's a natural way to connect actions. You can also say, I check my emails before going to the office, or I watch TV after going home. Say it with me. I watch TV after going home.
Mini dialogues make practice easier. Leo, what do you do before going to work? I usually drink coffee and read the news.
Ella, what do you do after going home?
I usually relax, cook dinner, and spend time with my family. You can also use for to talk about how long you do something. For example, I study English for 1 hour in the morning, or I exercise for 30 minutes in the evening. Repeat, I study English for 1 hour in the morning.
That's very useful. You can also say, I work for 8 hours, or I watch TV for 20 minutes. Say it. I watch TV for 20 minutes.
Another tip is to use sometimes with time expressions. For example, sometimes I take a nap in the afternoon, or sometimes I go shopping on Saturdays. Repeat, sometimes I go shopping on Saturdays.
Mini dialogues are great for this too. Ella, do you sometimes watch movies in the morning?
No, I sometimes watch movies in the evening.
Talking about your daily schedule with these phrases makes your English sound much more fluent and natural. You can practice every day to remember these patterns easily.
And combining before, after, for, and sometimes lets you create longer, more detailed sentences. It makes conversations sound real and interesting. You can also use usually and often to describe habits in your daily schedule. For example, I usually wake up at 7 a.m., Or, I often go for a walk in the evening. Repeat after me. I often go for a walk in the evening.
That's right. These words help make your English sound more natural because they show how often you do something. You can also say, I usually eat breakfast at 7:30 a.m. Say it with me. I usually eat breakfast at 7:30 a.m.
Mini dialogues are very helpful. Leo, do you usually read before bed? Yes, I usually read for 30 minutes before bed.
Ella, how often do you exercise? I often exercise in the evening, about 4 times a week.
You can also add feelings to make your sentences more expressive. For example, I usually wake up at 7 a.m. and I feel happy to start my day. Or, I often go for a walk and I feel relaxed. Repeat, I often go for a walk and I feel relaxed.
Another way to make your daily schedule interesting is by using sometimes with hobbies or free time activities. For example, sometimes I cook dinner at home. Or, sometimes I watch a movie in the evening. Say it. Sometimes I watch a movie in the evening.
Mini dialogue practice. Leo, what do you do sometimes in the evening? I sometimes watch TV or call my friends.
Ella, do you sometimes study English at night? Yes, sometimes I study English for 20 minutes before sleeping.
Combining usually, often, and sometimes gives your English variety and makes it sound more natural. You can practice describing your day using these words every day to improve your fluency.
And don't forget, practice is the key to sounding confident when talking about your daily routine in English.
Another great way to talk about your daily routine is by using sometimes with time expressions to add variety. For example, sometimes I take a short nap at 2 p.m. Or, sometimes I go for a walk in the morning. Repeat after me. Sometimes I take a short nap at 2 p.m.
That's very natural. You can also describe your evening using usually and after that. For example, I usually cook dinner at 7 p.m. and after that, I watch a movie. Say it with me. I usually cook dinner at 7 p.m. and after that, I watch a movie.
Mini dialogues help you practice speaking naturally. Leo, what do you do after work? I usually relax, and after that, I exercise or read a book.
Ella, what about in the evening? I usually watch TV for 30 minutes and then go to bed.
You can also combine feelings with your daily activities. For example, I usually wake up at 7 a.m. and I feel happy to start my day. Or, I exercise in the evening and I feel energetic. Repeat, I exercise in the evening and I feel energetic.
Another tip is to use while for 2 things happening at the same time. For example, I listen to music while cooking dinner, or I check my messages while drinking coffee. Say it. I check my messages while drinking coffee.
Mini dialogue. Leo, what do you do while cooking? I usually listen to music while cooking.
Talking about your daily routine with these words and phrases makes your English sound fluent, natural, and engaging. Practicing every day will help you gain confidence and improve quickly.
That's right. Try describing your daily routine in English tonight, and don't forget to use phrases like usually, sometimes, before, after, and while.
Thank you for joining us today. Keep practicing, and you'll notice big improvements in your English every day.
Subscribe to our channel for more content like this, and we'll see you in the next episode.